I feel like I'm on an elevator with a really weird baby. You gotta stop, baby.
The face is good too.
Ugh.
The people can't see the face.
But I can. It's terrifying. You would leave this baby.
I can't even do it for more than a second now
Oh,
because
man.
it's so funny, and we all agree that it is, right? Everyone?
Yep.
Yeah. That guy said yes.
Well, he sucks. Anyway.
Darn it.
What are we doing here,
It
Marshall?
was me. My name is Marshall. I'm here to do podcast. Welcome.
Hi, Connor. Nice to meet you. I'm also
Shaking
here.
hands. The way that you grabbed my hand made me feel like a dainty lady when I shook your hand.
You
'cause
are
it
a
was-
dainty lady to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because it was just like the fingers of my hand.
How'd it do?
Howdy doody do. And that's my catchphrase now here on the show. Howdy doody do. Man, I'm glad that I didn't. I will have to do some editing on the last one. I was going to say, I realized on the episode that comes out before this one.
Maybe.
No, definitively.
Oh.
The Dune episode, very close to the beginning, Ben said the magic word, which means that I have to put in a clip of Willem Dafoe, and I didn't notice it. So part of me wants to go and like delete and re-upload that, but then I would lose all of that like data and everything. So it's too late now.
Gotcha.
It's very sad. I'm not going to say the magic word though, because I don't want to have to do that. And I'm not going to tell you the magic word.
You have to do, but what would you have to say?
I would have to put in a very specific clip of Willem Dafoe. It's a running joke on the show.
Oh, no.
You know because you've listened to every episode.
Yeah, every episode.
Yes, your favorite show that you listen to.
Every
Yeah.
day.
And you always tell me whenever I see you, hey, Marshall, I love that podcast that you do. I listen to every episode.
Yep.
And you wouldn't lie to me.
I eat it with milk.
That would
like
be a
cereal.
betrayal. And we've known each other for so long.
Many moons.
And
Many
we've
moons.
been on this planet for so long. And you wouldn't betray me, and I trust you.
Okay.
It's like the movie.
What movie?
What movie? Welcome everyone to Cinema Lounge. It's the official podcast of The Great Scub Do, the YouTube channel that we never touch. And I used to say hardly ever touch. This time I said never.
Wow.
Only Sith deals in absolutes. But my name is Marshall. I'm your host of this show, and here today with me I have Connor Brand. He's a handsome man, wearing glasses, shirt, pants.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all there is. And that's all we really need, right, everyone? So we are here today to talk about comic book things because that's what Connor is good at.
Hey, thanks.
There's one thing, and that's it.
Yep. Glasses, shirt, hat.
Glasses, shirt, hat.
These headphones count as a hat, right?
I guess.
It's an accessory.
I'll
Anywho.
put a poll on this episode. Hold on. Remind me to attach a poll to the episode for the Eternals on if headphones are a hat.
I'm going to fail that one. But anywho.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a poll on this episode. You can do that on Spotify now. You can like ask specific questions and stuff to your audience and have polls that people can vote on. So if you go to the Dune episode, you can vote on whether you think, if you're listening on Spotify specifically, you can vote on whether you think the 1984 or 2021 version is better. We just did the Atreides salute, and it was very cool.
It was pretty cool. I did it
We're
first.
so cool. Dude, did you know that fear is the mind killer?
What?
Yeah, fear is the little death that brings obliteration. It's crazy, dude. Did you know that?
No. Spoilers.
Frick, sorry. But yeah, we're here to talk about more comic book things than either last or next episode that you're hearing. Probably next. We talked about Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Which is one of Connor's favorite movies. And
I do
a
enjoy
movie,
it.
I don't know if I would say it's one of my favorites, but I do love this movie dearly.
It's quite a good movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So you'll either have heard or will hear that soon.
You leave happier than when you sat down to start watching it.
Always do when I'm watching Galaxy Quest and after it.
Yes, that made sense.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And today
Today
we are talking about the people who live forever. Christians.
Oh.
Hot take,
I
hot take.
understand. I mean, depending on, it could be a hot take depending on what you subscribe to.
That's true. That's very
The
true.
people that we hang out with generally, not a very hot take.
The people who we are.
Yeah.
Not a hot
But hey, guess what, everyone? We actually are here to talk. Oh, I dropped a thing. We're here to talk about Marvel's Eternals, directed by
Yeah.
Chloe Zhao. It is the latest feature film offering from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I have some thoughts on this film. and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one, it's going to be really easy to meander, like
Very
the
true.
movie. And so let's try to go through our categories
Yes.
piece by piece.
I will let you label those out, and I will just fill in the gaps.
Fine. So we have,
Director.
I'm holding a thing. I was fidgeting and now I need to put it down because it was distracting me. That's the opposite of the point of a fidget toy.
Yes.
Script, score, cinematography, acting, or performances, directing, and where it applies visual effects. So let's just start with like the general. What is this movie about, Connor? What is it about, and what is the inciting incident?
Yeah. So this
Go.
movie is about a group of people called the Eternals. Now, the Eternals have been here on Earth for the last 7,000 years. This takes place in the mainline Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
But these people have been around so long that they have to explain why they never interacted with any of our favorite heroes. Thanos. How come you guys didn't interfere with Thanos?
Thanos.
Thank you, Kit Harington.
Thank you, Kit.
But-
Thank you, Kit Harington, and thank you, James and Mesa.
Yes. So they're these eternal beings, hence the name Eternals, who have different cosmic power that they've just kind of practiced more. It differs in the comics, but they all have individual powers. And they are here to help humans just kind of get along with life and to fight the deviants, who are this kind of predatory race that are here to kill humans, but they want to see us prosper. Yet they cannot interfere with any of like human conflict.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of just kind of self-drama between the team because there are 10 Eternals in total.
10 Eternals in total.
10 Eternals in total.
10 Eternals in total.
8 Tangerines in the town square.
10 Eternals in total, 8 Tangerines in the town square at
Yeah.
10 o'clock
Tonight.
tonight. 10
Yeah.
Eternals. 10 Eternals in total.
Yes.
10 Eternals in total, 10 Tangerines. 10 Eternals in total, 10 Tangerines at
the town square.
at the town
tonight
square
10.
tonight at 10 o'clock
Beautiful.
while reading Tennyson.
Yes. Anything I missed
In
in
a
the
tent.
description of what this movie is, Marshall? Anything you wanted to throw in there?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like that's what they are. That's their background. And so, did you say they were sent here by the Celestials?
I did not mention the Celestials yet.
Yeah. So the Celestials are like these godlike beings in the Marvel universe that. In some versions, they are like the creators of things, and some they're just big, powerful
Yeah.
dudes.
They're gods, but small g.
Yeah, in this, they're small g gods, essentially, where they like created some things,
Yes,
but also
they
didn't.
were here before the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
They essentially created the Infinity Stones.
Yes, but then they didn't create like Earth and the universe or anything.
No, yes, they did.
They did.
Yes.
It's confusing.
They're in charge of basically their whole life cycle is that they create and destroy universes.
Oh.
Yes, they are responsible for, kind of like the life in the universe.
Okay. Yes. So they created the Eternals to supposedly fight the Deviants.
Yes.
So the Deviants, you said, are like the bad guys, and they're just these like predators, essentially.
Yeah, they're a predatory race that are much worse than any predator we have here on planet Earth.
Yeah. So then the Eternals are created, we're told, to fight them, and that's their whole deal. So the thing that kind of kickstarts the movie is the Eternals that we meet. Let me see if I can get all of them. 10 Eternals.
Yep, I got them all.
Oh, well, that's easy to say without saying it, isn't it, Connor? Ajax, Makari, Cersei, Gilgamesh, Druig, Sprite, Icarus,
Fastos.
Fastos. Don't
I'm
help
trying
me.
to help you, man.
Fastos. Angelina Jolie.
Athena.
And did I say Gilgamesh yet?
Yeah, you said Gilgamesh. You didn't. Kingo.
Oh, Kingo. Of course. So those are all of the Eternals, and they're very well cast. We'll talk about the cast in a bit here. But they, came to Earth to do that fighting the Deviants thing. And at a certain point, they fought all of them. And now they've just been living on Earth waiting for the Arishem, the judge, the Celestial that sent them, to call them home.
Yes, and there are different forms of Celestials. We might want to make that clear here. we've actually seen 2 Celestials in the Marvel Universe already.
There's question about Ego at this point.
A self-proclaimed Celestial.
Yeah.
Ego, the living planet from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
And in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, when
Nowhere.
the Collector... Yeah. In Nowhere, when the Collector is explaining, like, what is this power gem, this big purple gem?
Yeah.
You see a Celestial use the Power Stone to destroy a planet.
Yes. And that one is in line with what we get in this, more or less. It's more comic booky looking, but it's the same deal.
Yeah.
But essentially, what kind of kickstarts the plot at this point is that the Deviants are back, and we don't know why. And now we're going to get the band back together, the 10 Eternals eating tangerines, and we're going to see...
In the town square at 10.
In the town square at 10 tonight. And we're going to see like why this is happening. So that's the story.
Who's our main character, though?
Cersei. Cersei's the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, played by Gemma Chan. Who has been in other things. I think this is probably the most notable role that she's had
Fair
at
enough.
this point. I don't know. I haven't really seen anything else with her that I'm aware of. I've probably seen her in other stuff. But the cast is great. What do you? That's what the movie's about. What do you think of the movie?
Oh man, where do I start?
Don't know.
This
Macedonia.
Mesopotamia.
Oh, that's true. Babylon. I got Babylon and Macedonia confused.
Gotcha. So it starts out and it's just an utter shock for me because I can already tell that this movie is going to be different than everything we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because the characters themselves are just older. They're created with a purpose. They don't need to find their purpose. That's how we start out.
Yeah.
And you're introduced to the very beginning stages of humanity. You know, people are fishing at the edge of Mesopotamia.
Yeah, when we think of Mesopotamia as like, you know, big city and everything, they arrive when it is like some people in huts.
Dirt huts, wearing cloth. You have family structure, I think, but basically how we're first introduced is this kid. He sees something off the coast coming in pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you just see his dad get like obliterated.
Totally just like lawyer in a porta potty. That T-Rex ripped him in half.
Yeah. It was basically a T-Rex.
Yeah. It was like a T-Rex fish thing.
Yeah. And
land shark.
Right after the father is ripped away, literally.
Yeah.
Then the Eternals swoop in.
I know,
They're like,
right?
here we are.
Why didn't you do that like 2 seconds earlier?
Yeah.
This is weird.
I don't know. Basically, it starts out that way, and I have so many mixed feelings because the movie looks fantastic.
Yeah, if we can talk cinematography for a second here because it genuinely looks really good. Like
if you want to talk about the things
different.
that do well in this movie, that's top of the list.
The visuals are up there. Just visually in general, the visual effects are also up there, I would say. But the cinematography is fantastic, and it really helps it that. And we'll do like non-spoilers for a bit and then go into spoilers when we need to, when we're going to talk about like probably performances. We'll have to get into that. But the cinematography has helped out a lot by the fact that most of this was on location.
Really?
In different parts of the world. Yeah, there are parts when they're in a green box.
Yeah.
But so much of this was actually in a real place.
Marvel fronts the bill, don't they?
Yeah. Well, and you get like Richard Madden, I think, is the one who was talking about like, yeah, it just felt like doing a regular movie, a lot of it, because, you know, he's not doing all this green screen stuff all the time. He's doing regular films and TV shows and stuff where you're actually on a set or in these grand vistas. And it looks very different because of that. And the way that they shoot those are very good and just very, very, it's very pretty. It's a very pretty movie.
It is. It is.
It's interesting, though, because I believe this is the same cinematographer as like the first Guardians.
Really?
And like, yeah, a couple other Marvel movies. I looked it up at one point thinking I was going to get like some really notable stuff. And I was surprised to see other Marvel movies on there because, you know, people talk about like the Guardians movies are very pretty. I think the first one is still pretty standard Marvel looking. The second one, in my opinion, is when it actually starts to break out and be more like visually interesting and colorful and stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. They really went with it in the second one.
Yeah. But it's a gorgeous looking movie. Probably the best cinematography in a Marvel movie.
I would say.
I mean, in the most stylized and visually attractive, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the Deviants, I think their design was
That
good,
kind of they leave a little bit wanting.
but there's much to be desired when it comes to the Deviants. I mean, knowing just kind of who the Deviants are supposed to be, the farther you get into the movie, the more you're just like, I don't think they were
they
really
just aren't
created with on
anything.
purpose. They were created as filler.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into spoilers at a certain point, and when you do find out that the Deviants pretty much are just filler until the real villain of the show comes in.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting to a certain degree for me. But let's see. The guy's name is Ben Davis, the DP, the director of photography. He also did Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel,
Ew.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange looks good.
Yeah.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I personally think Age of Ultron looks beautiful.
I think that there's some really good stuff in there that's very fun. For like regular movies, this guy has done three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, that movie got me.
I have not seen it.
Ooh,
I want to.
It's a tough one, man.
Dumbo, Tim Burton's Dumbo, with Danny DeVito, who, guess what? You know whose birthday it was? Wednesday,
DeVito?
yesterday?
Or Dumbo? Yeah.
77 years old, Danny DeVito.
There's another one. Danny DeVito and Dumbo.
Danny DeVito and Dumbo are
Is 777.
whoa. Cry Macho, the new bad Clint Eastwood movie. What else? Wrath of the Titans, everyone's favorite.
I enjoy that movie.
It's fine for what it is. Kick ass. But yeah, this guy's done lots of stuff. Hannibal. Pretty good dude. Good at his job. I was surprised looking at his Marvel track record to see that he'd done this one. Because like Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange don't look bad, but they're not visually special necessarily. Like they're just shot very regularly. Even Guardians, like I was saying, is a little bit better, but that's mostly James Gunn's influence at that point more than anything. But yeah, visually gorgeous movie. Big fan of that. Cinematography, that's what we got there. Script.
Well, I want to go back to the cinematography and just the visual effects.
Yeah, let's get into visual effects. That's a good one.
Because when it comes down to how this movie looks, I think how they depict things also plays into that.
Yeah.
So each individual's powers, I think, is done very well.
Yeah, they look good.
Like when you get into each individual's powers, I mean, you can tell that it's all derived from the same source because they'll have this glowing kind of etching around
It's the same kind of like energy effect.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and you can tell that it's from kind of the same source. But when it comes down to like Phastos and his technology, like it's really well done. And then you have Icarus's eyes.
The laser beams.
The laser beams look really good.
The flight looks really good too.
Yeah.
Like it's very Man of Steel.
That's fair. And I think that's one thing that Man of Steel does very well.
Yeah.
Is putting you in the center of the flight.
Yeah.
And I think this is paying a little bit of respect to that. But I did want to mention that Makari, I think,
so cool.
best depiction of super speed on screen.
In live action, I agree with that. I guess we haven't really seen much animated stuff besides Justice League Flash. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's 100% the case.
It's a new spin. It's not just, time in the bottle scene from Days of Future Past. It's not zoop, 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 zoop. It's all over. It's showing the actual like effects of her running like around the globe.
Yeah, it's showing her running at the speed that we see as opposed to like Quicksilver at the speed that he sees.
Yeah.
In, the X-Men movies.
And
which is so cool. That one shot that's in the trailer of her like looking for the source or where the Celestial is going to pop up.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah, sort of. Is so cool of her like jumping and running and stuff.
It's really good.
Looks awesome.
Yeah. In addition, I think that and this might get a little, critical of their powers in general, but Sprite, the perceived youngest member of the Eternals, she's basically just made into the body of a child. So she's like, 14 at this point, and 12 to 14 around that age, and she's having trouble looking like an adult. But her power is that she can create illusions.
Yeah.
And she's really bad at it.
I don't think she is.
She's good at making good illusions,
Yeah.
but she's bad at applying them.
I mean, She doesn't really use them in ways that make sense a lot of the time.
Yeah.
When she's doing her like storytelling thing,
Yeah.
I just watched Return of the Jedi recently.
Oh, really?
When I was building I promise this connects. When I was building the Lego Millennium Falcon, I was watching Jedi, and there was the moment when the Ewoks have captured them after they've gotten out that C-3PO is telling the story of the movies, and he's doing all the sound effects and everything. Watch it, tiki what go.
Yeah.
And like all of that stuff. And I'm just like, this is like a better version of Sprite's Sprite storytelling.
That's true. That's
Because
very true.
when I watched Eternals, I had the opposite reaction. I was like, this is like a weird stunted version of C-3PO telling
Yeah.
the Ewoks about Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
But those would probably be the most visual powers on screen, other than, Gilgamesh and Thena. They
Yeah.
have more like Gilgamesh has
Punchy.
a punchy fist.
So
that-
good.
It's cool.
It
And
feels
then-
so powerful.
Yeah. But then Thena has, different weapons she creates out of this like
Yeah.
gold etching.
Weapon
And
constructs.
it's really cool.
It is, yeah.
It's kind of like Green Lantern-esque like power.
A little bit, yeah. I can see that.
Which I saw those similarities, but there's also. Do you want to get into a little bit of spoiler stuff now?
What is there anything else that we're able to talk about before we get into spoilers, script, score, cinematography, directing? I don't know. I think if you're going to see the movie, you either have seen it at this point or you're waiting for video.
And if you haven't seen it, why are you listening to this podcast?
Yes, stupid, dummy. Thanks for listening, though, Eric. But I would say before we get into spoilers, I have mixed feelings about it, but I still think it's worth a watch, and I don't think it's the worst Marvel movie. I think it's going to be hard to take that from Captain Marvel for me.
Ooh, cinematographer getting.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. These
No.
movies look good.
It's that movie is just written by committee and directed by like more than one person too. Which, Russo brothers, Wachowskis, it can work. It can
Yeah.
work. But that movie is just a camel.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's worth it if you're a Marvel person. Definitely watch the Eternals. Like there's good stuff and there's bad stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
I said fun.
I said it's fine.
It's both.
But also, we can't say anything besides yes or no. So, if you want to hear our true yes or no's, you got to see the movie and come back and listen to the rest of the podcast.
Absolutely.
So now let's talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
So basically, I was thinking the whole time. I'm going back to Sprite. I'm sorry.
Tell me more about Little Sprite.
Little Sprite. So she is probably. Marshall just pointed to the empty McDonald's cup that was my Sprite just moments ago. Got me.
Thank you.
So Sprite is a character who she was built into the body, of a 12-year-old
Yeah.
girl, but she's been around for about 7,000 years.
Yeah.
So she is supposed to have all the complexities and
Yeah.
the mind of an adult who's lived this life.
Yeah.
And kind of a subplot. I mean, there's so many romantic subplots in this.
Yep.
But one that she goes through is that she has a crush on Cersei's ex-husband, current husband, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess they were
Icarus.
married, weren't they?
So
I mean,
it's kind of that
who
weird.
would?
Like,
Have you seen that guy?
yeah, Richard Madden,
Whew.
good-looking man,
James Bond.
very superhero-esque, very Superman-esque looking guy.
Yeah.
I think that was very intentional.
If only.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But so Sprite has a crush on Icarus, and it's not really played into a lot, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that kind of stuff would be hard to depict on screen no matter
It's weird.
what. It's strange.
I love like Leon the Professional, but
Yeah.
that part of it always it just gets my gourd.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's happening here?
And so the fact that in the end, when you find out that, big spoiler here, Icarus
Is the bad guy.
is the bad guy,
Yeah.
she
Joins him.
joins him. She betrays her entire family.
Yeah. Which it seems at first is like a play.
Yeah.
That like they introduced that romantic thing to make you like kind of doubt her and maybe think, oh, maybe
Mm-hmm.
she is actually going to join them. But then she just doesn't question it.
She doesn't. She ends up. So in the beginning of the movie, she's living with Cersei in like England.
Yeah.
They're BFFs. They're living life. And
Yeah.
in the end, she ends up stabbing Cersei
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? Who are you?
It's just I think the cast is the best part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do a very good job, and they're all pretty likable.
Mm-hmm.
I just like I don't understand their characters a lot of the time, because for people who are like 7,000 years old,
Yeah.
they don't act like it.
They
You
need
would
to
think
grow
they would
up.
be, yeah. You would think they would be. Well, I know people who are. We were talking earlier. You know, we know people older than us that just act like children. So maybe this is normal for the Eternals and normal in life. But I feel like these characters specifically should be wiser and smarter
Absolutely.
and just not be as stupid as they are at times. It's so weird. Like the moment that Icarus shows up in London to stop the Deviant, and he's like, "I came to help you because of I heard about the earthquake. I wanted to see if you were okay." It's like I immediately was like, "That doesn't make sense,"
Yeah.
because you've been gone for multiple centuries.
I think like 400 years at this point.
Yeah, and there was an earthquake, and now you are like, maybe I should check on Cersei because there was an earthquake.
There's so much that's happened since
This
then.
indestructible woman.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is a self-prescribed, more of a humanitarian to the group.
Yeah,
She's kind of, the ethical conscious
but
of
she's
the group. at
she's
this point.
sure addicted to that phone.
Yeah.
It's such a
Man.
stupid joke.
They're really trying to push on millennials here.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Sprite said you were really couldn't put that thing down.
Oh, and the Snapchat filter.
Yeah, and then she FaceTimes Dane.
Yeah, Kit Harington's character, Dane.
Yeah, he was good.
Dane DeHaan.
I like him. I like Kit Harington, and I
Kit
think he was good in this. With
He's
what he
good
was
for
given.
the 3 minutes he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should get back to more of the plot of the movie.
More of the plot
So
of the movie.
the idea is that about 400 years ago they finished killing off the deviants.
Yeah.
At least they thought, and all of a sudden these earthquakes start happening.
Yeah.
And Cersei's like, "What's going on?" Icarus flies in. He's like, "I came to check on you." Boring. But see, the thing is, they're like, we need to get the team back together.
Yeah.
We need to figure out what's happening. And when they go to visit their leader, who is played by Selma Hayek, Ajax,
She's very good.
she's dead.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, a deviant got her.
Yeah.
And when Cersei goes to the body of Ajax, the power that Ajax has dawns itself to Cersei, which is the ability to speak with the Celestial
Yeah.
that sent them there.
Well, that's not her power as much as it's just a thing that she was able to do because of that ball. Her power is healing.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
so
enough.
there's like a golden
She-
ball given to her by the Celestial.
Yeah, that like flies out of her body, and
Yeah.
it flies out of her dead body into Cersei, and Cersei is like confronted by probably one of my favorite like scenes
Yeah, it's cool.
that she is in front
Very big.
of Erisham, the Celestial, the judge,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And the scale of it,
Big boy.
impressive. Like the gravitas that these Celestials have on screen,
Yeah.
bada bing, bada boom.
It'd be really funny if he had like a little Mickey Mouse voice. He's like a massive guy, but he's got this like small echoing Mickey Mouse. Hey! Oh, Cersei, I'm here to tell you about your true dark purpose.
And you hinted at it right there.
Yeah.
When Cersei goes in front of Erisham, he's like, hey, by the way, here's actually what you're doing there because I sent
Yeah.
you all there, but here's the real plan. You're just here to increase the population of Earth so a celestial that we put inside Earth
Yeah.
can pop out like a big egg.
Yeah.
And that is your whole purpose here. And then you move on to another planet and do the same thing.
Which is kind of a cool dilemma. I don't think that's inherently stupid, and I think that in a better written movie, I think that could work really well.
Yes, okay, I agree with you. I wish they would have explained why does the amount of people incubate the celestial.
It needs that power. It's taking their like body power, essentially, their
it's,
energy
It's draining my life
to
force.
like become born, to be
Okay.
born. Yeah.
Interesting. I wish they would have explained that better in the movie then.
Yeah, it's still weird and stupid.
Yeah. So once Cersei figures out that this was their plan and that they had basically been misdirected this whole time, they're going to still get the team back together.
Yeah.
And so they go through this, I would say, like, hour of just collecting team members.
Is it an hour? I mean, it's a long movie.
It's
It
almost
felt long.
It's 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
And when you're introducing 10 plus new characters, like, this is an origin movie
Yeah.
for 10 people. It's a lot.
Very good idea.
Yeah. Should have been a series. Changed my mind.
Yeah. I could see this as like a Disney Plus show.
I think it would have fared better.
I don't know. I feel like if you draw it, I feel like there's a certain amount of like Rise of Skywalker to this, where it's like we're gonna put you on this ride, and it's not a very good ride, but we're gonna make it go so fast that you think it's really good.
But see, that's the thing, because there's so many concepts in this movie
Yeah.
that the reason it was so long is because there's different things of, well, our purpose is to do this, so why should we deviate from that? Or are we actually like more human now? What's different about them?
Yeah.
Should we impede the life of something that's going to create more life just to save all the life here on this planet?
Yeah.
There's so many philosophical things that are brought up in this movie that never get thought out fully.
Yeah. Do you think that they should stop the Celestial? If you're
Ask
them,
me at the end. Ask me at the end.
Okay. Okay.
We got more to talk about.
Okay.
And so as they continue, they're going back. I believe the next person they go get is Kingo.
Kingo, yeah.
And Kingo is, now correct me, I don't know his name properly.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes, Camille. He is serving in the role of a Bollywood star. So since he lives forever, essentially, he has created a dynasty of Bollywood stars where he plays his father, his great-grandfather, and his great-great-grandfather. And it's just this amazing dynasty of like all these Bollywood actors.
They're all amazing actors, and they all look identical.
Yes. And he serves as the main, comic relief, which is great because he's a comedic actor.
Feels very good.
Yes, he's a good guy. And him and his sidekick, so his handler, his like...
It's his valet.
His valet, yes. His Alfred to his Batman.
He's very good.
It's great.
That's
great
one thing that I
sense
do
of
like.
humanity.
He does give us that kind of grounding from this, world of these people who are, live forever and can fly or whatever.
Yeah, and he's just a regular
happy
guy.
to
be there.
Yeah, well, and then when they go to find Druig and talk to him, and he's like, "I'm not going to help you. This is stupid. Blow up the planet. I don't care."
But
He's
why-
like, "It's just listen. It's been an honor just to meet you guys." And he's like super sad and almost crying, and it's genuinely sad.
Yeah.
Looking at this regular man.
It is. Very lovable guy. To get onto the subject of why Druig, the next character they go to find, he hasn't been with the team probably the longest. He was the first to leave.
Yeah.
And basically his power is that he can control the minds of people. He sounds like he could be a setup for a bad guy, but he's not.
Yeah, they make him look like he's going to be a bad guy in the trailer, and then he's just like, everyone loves him.
See, the issue is because he's like that generic bad boy looking like
Literally
emo
wears
kid.
like a leather jacket.
Yeah, but the thing is, with his power, you would assume he's going to be a bad guy. But his conflict is that he knows he has the power to make everyone stop fighting.
Yeah.
He doesn't like when humans kill each other. He hates it.
Yeah.
But their mission was to not, like,
You can't
influence.
interfere in
You can't
human
interfere.
stuff,
That's the word. He can't interfere with the human conflict, and that's just tearing him up. That he wants to save these lives, but he cannot.
Yeah.
So he goes off into the Amazon, and he's just kind of controlling this little village.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, ethically,
Sometimes he's controlling them, and sometimes he's not. The moment that he like
they seem
does
willing
control
to
them,
be there.
yeah. The moment that he mind controls them to all like shoot double barrel shotguns at the deviant, that's when I was like, okay, dude, like that's not. What are you doing?
Like, let them run.
Yeah.
Like, you're using it. They're expendable now.
Yeah, and he does at that point.
Yeah, after some prompting.
Yeah.
But basically, he was probably one of my favorite characters. Probably third favorite character.
I thought he was fine. I didn't dislike him.
He deserved a full hour just himself.
Maybe.
Anywho, so during the time where they go to get Druig, they are attacked by deviants. And it's at this point where Oh no, we forgot about Thena and Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I
That
mean, we
was
don't have to
before.
go through every plot point.
Yeah, that's fair. So at this point, the deviants attack them, and you get the first death of a celestial on screen.
Celestial?
Eternal.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a big learning curve.
I
And
ripped the
so-
thing out again.
Classic.
Good job,
and-
Connor.
Thank you. And this is probably the most hard-hitting point of the movie is when Gilgamesh basically sacrifices himself for Thena.
Yeah.
Because instead of like a romantic relationship, they are like best friends.
They're best buds.
He says, if you love something, you protect it. And that's why I've stayed with you for the last like 1,000+ years.
Yeah.
It's because he just cherishes her so much. And she's going through a little, kind of crazy stuff. Angelina Jolie's character, Thena.
Yeah.
Because whenever a planet is destroyed and these Eternals are moved to a different planet, they get their mind erased.
Yeah.
So they feel like they're, doing a good thing and don't know
The secret.
bad part.
Yeah.
But something happened in her last, mind wipe where she did not get it all wiped. So she has memories of past worlds being obliterated.
Yeah.
And they call it, was it
Mad-weary.
Mad-weary.
Yeah.
And
it's mad weary.
Yeah.
Which is,
just
a
spelled differently.
stupid Jack Kirby thing, but they spell it weird.
Yeah. And so the point is that she believes she's like in these battles. She'll like, her eyes will go white and she'll pretend like, not pretend, she'll actually think she's in these great battles and end up hurting her friends. And while she's going through one of those episodes, deviants are attacking all around and Gilgamesh is just fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah.
But he ends up dying.
He gets stabbed up real good.
Yeah.
By Crow.
By Crow. Do you want to explain
Yeah.
who is Crow? What is Crow?
What is Crow? Crow is a bird that fly through the air. If there's many of them, call it a murder.
True.
Blackbird
Fitting.
singing in the dead of night.
And the character is what?
Oh, from the movie.
Yeah.
So in the Marvel Eternal movie, there's one of the deviants who just has the ability. No real reason or explanation.
No one.
Just has the ability to stab up an Eternal real good and then suck up their power.
Yeah.
And that's fine and cool. And he does that a couple times. He does that to Ajak, Salma Hayek, and gets her healing powers. And then he does that to Gilgamesh and gets the big punchy powers.
Yeah, but every time he absorbs, their power, he gets more consciousness.
Yeah, he also gets more of their like intelligence as well.
So deviants are traditionally more like animals, kind of like, a lion or something.
Or a dog.
Yeah, something along those
Cat.
lines. Bird. Murder. Yeah, crow.
Crow.
Whoa, full circle. And the issue I have with this is every
Yeah.
time he takes the power of an Eternal, he starts to become more aware. And
Yeah.
he's capable of speaking. He's capable of reason.
Yeah.
He understands that I'm not what I was designed to be.
Yeah.
They hit on this like very subtle way of, I don't want to be a predator. Like,
Yeah.
I was designed with this purpose that I don't want. And yet you still hunt me. And they just toss that aside.
Yeah, like the moment that he becomes interesting, they just kill him off.
Yeah.
In the interest of Icarus being the different villain, the real villain of the
I
story.
could have cared less. I wanted Crow more.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, and it's weird because like, Crow is an actual character from the comics.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's anything at all like he is in this movie, but I kind of doubt it. Like maybe he has absorbing powers of some sort, but it just is like, it just feels like pointless filler. Like by the time that Icarus gets revealed as the real villain, at that point, just all of this stuff in the movie up to that point with the deviants just feels like, what was the point of this?
Yeah. Like you introduced such an interesting theme of not being who you were created to be and going against the grain to a higher purpose.
And they're not even making it in a way that like Icarus and Crow would team up for some reason and be a larger threat. They just happen to both want to fight the Eternals.
It's, yeah.
It kind of turns into
Crow
a mess.
didn't want to. He didn't want to fight.
No. Well, he did. He wanted to kill them.
He wanted to kill them for everything they continued to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like there could have been a conversation at some point. Like,
Well,
what's
and
happening?
they did. Because in that final battle, when he shows up, I don't know who it is, but one of them is like, why are you like helping him? We're trying to help you, essentially. And he's like, I just want to kill you. It's like, what?
Yeah, I think it's Phastos at that point because
Yeah.
Phastos is the technology guy.
Yeah.
And he's got Icarus pinned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which he can just do.
Yeah.
He's like,
just
he's the one who was like, he's the strongest one. How are we gonna fight him? What are we gonna do?
and he just had all this tech to take him
gives
down.
him handcuffs, essentially.
And I don't even think Icarus is the most powerful one.
No, it's
I mean-
easily Spider-Man.
Relatively, I would argue Makari.
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man, so in that Spider-Man trailer,
Don't you dare,
the
man.
best part,
Don't.
the best part of the Spider-Man trailer
I'm going to throw your
is
action
when
figures at you.
Makari kills the Justice League with her nose.
So, fun fact to everyone listening, Marshall knows that I do not want any spoilers for
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding them like the plague.
Yes.
I'm not on YouTube. I'm not
Yeah.
on Google. I have like deleted all the accounts where I would get my Marvel content.
Connor has gouged his eyes out, which is why he's on this audio podcast.
Exactly. Because I can't see you.
Yeah. No, I'm over here.
What?
No, that's no. A little bit up.
How do you know where I'm looking if I don't have eyes?
Wait. Good point. Wait. Where are you?
Anyway, back to Crow.
Yeah.
Essentially, just to wrap that up. He gets killed in a cool way.
Yeah.
But he
fine.
still gets killed before his point gets across. And I don't know if there's a lesson they're trying to get across or they just forgot that this was a relevant thing.
I think it was just a thread that they were like, get rid of that.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the big reveal that Icarus is the bad guy,
I don't know when I picked that out. Like, I definitely saw it coming at a certain point.
I
'Cause,
didn't like him the entire movie.
I mean, I wanted to like him. I didn't dislike him, but he just seemed off to me.
Yeah,
And I mean, maybe that's intentional because he's supposed to be a bad guy and weird and stuff.
yeah.
I just barely jiggled it. I didn't even do anything. I need to get a better adapter.
Or just stop moving.
I have to use my body.
Anyway, so the build up to Icarus being the bad guy, he
Yeah.
was the one who killed Ajax, their original leader.
Yeah.
And
Kicked her
that's-
off a cliff.
Yeah, he kicked her off the cliff, and the Deviants killed her and took her power. That's the first instance where we're introduced to Crow, or the
Yeah.
concept of Crow. But that's right after he kills Ajax, he flies her back to the farm where they went to find her. And then he flies to Cersei,
Yeah.
which is so strange
what is his
because
plan?
he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Because if they're all going to, just go up to the celestial, plane and then go out to a new planet and get their minds wiped, why
Yeah.
does he get the team together?
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't do anything, then they wouldn't know to do anything.
And they would have succeeded.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, he did this.
Why? What?
It didn't make sense. And the whole time, while he's the villain, you're also supposed to feel this strong connection between him and Cersei. Because they were supposed to fall in love as soon as they, came to Earth.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad love story.
It's fine.
I don't buy their
I don't.
chemistry at all.
Yeah. It's like, this is okay.
She had more with Kit Harington.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
I thought they were great.
They're great.
I like Kit Harington.
I mean, as far as relationships and just chemistry among the Eternals cast,
Yeah.
I think Gilgamesh and Thena had great chemistry.
Yeah.
I think Kingo and Sprite kind of had a good thing.
Dude, Druig and Makari,
Oh, best relationship in this whole thing.
which apparently was just like an on-set addition.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't in the script, and then they were just like, these two are really cool together.
Well, I bought their chemistry because
Yeah.
there are these weird little flirtatious moments.
Yeah.
Where they're picking on each other, and Makari is deaf, so she signs.
Yeah.
And he's the one who learned to sign.
Yeah.
And it's just he's the main communicator. And they just have this cute little
It's good.
interaction.
It's very good. Did you know she's 40?
Really?
Yeah.
She looks great.
You right? I
Wow.
thought she was 26 or something.
Wow.
She's 40 years old.
Look at that.
It's insane.
That was crazy.
She's very good though. She's,
Yeah.
I think, Gilgamesh might be my favorite, but it's very close between Makari and Gilgamesh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are two standout characters.
Gilgamesh is 18 years old.
Wow.
No, he's old.
I was gonna say that's a full-grown man.
Nah, he's like 50 probably.
He has a renowned career in Korean dramas.
Renowned punchy guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him. That's him.
Love him.
Anyway, what was the next item that we wanted to knock off?
We've been talking about performances for a while.
That's fair.
More or less. I think that's fine. What time are we at? 45 minutes? Not bad.
Yeah.
The script is we've been kind of doing that in and out with cinematography, and we talked visual effects. I don't know. I just think that it could be better. Music, I couldn't possibly tell you what any of it.
All I remember is the I say that and I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's the End of the World song from the trailer.
As we know it, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll stop the world and melt with you.
Oh, that's
one
a
too.
different song.
Yeah, but it's, kind of similar.
Sky High.
Yeah. Because the kid's a popsicle and he melts.
Oh.
Same thing. Yeah, so it's the don't you know it's the end of the world. And they play that again, and they're really building up the relationship between Fastos and his family.
Yeah.
And the thing with Fastos and his family is he left the team
Yeah.
and gave up on humanity after Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Because he's in charge of technology and spurring humanity forward with
Yeah.
their advancements. So he blames himself for the atomic bomb.
Which I guess reasonable.
It's reasonable, but also
Seems weird.
you're not making those decisions for them
Yeah.
because people would still be killing each other with
Look
sticks
what
no
I
matter what.
created.
You can't fight that human nature in this movie.
Yeah.
But
I can.
there you go. So
Thanks,
he
Sean.
leaves and says, they're not worth saving. I don't want to do anything. But the next time we see him, he is the one who is most ingrained into human society.
Yeah. And they don't really talk about that much. It's
Yeah.
just I met my husband, and now I love humans again.
And now I have a kid to reference other superhero properties.
I guess. Yeah, it's weird. One of my favorite things, I will say, one of my favorite things in the comic book world is the idea that the comic books in any given universe is the characters from the other universe. So in this, they reference Superman and Batman, and they're not talking about them like they're real characters. They're talking about from the comic books. It's the idea that there's the DC Comics publisher is the comics publisher of the MCU.
That's
I think is
so
I love
interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the vein of, if there are real superheroes running around, why do
people
I care about this fake Batman?
I mean, because that's why Superman was created, was because it's the Depression, it's the 1930s, and these two Jewish kids. It's not a good time to be Jewish, and it's not a good time to be poor. So they were
Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, it's America, but yes. But they were let's just make a story about a big, strong man, and who we can live vicariously through. And that was Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster creating Superman. And that's all he was literally just a big, strong man. He didn't have most of his powers until the cartoon or the radio show came out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that I think comics in these superhero, present worlds would not be as popular as they are in our world.
Yeah. They kind of do that in The Boys too, where it's they still have superhero movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess it's you would think that it would be those characters then.
Yeah. Like in Logan. I mean, it's an exaggerated version because Laura brings out a comic book of, the 97 X-Men.
Yeah, because this is
X-Men.
our celebrities.
Yeah, and Logan's just half the stuff didn't even happen. The other half didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
It's just that's a real depiction where
That's
I think
interesting.
that people would write about those stories.
Yeah.
But nobody's writing about Superman when Iron Man just died.
Yeah, or the action figures. There's at some point, I think, in the MCU, someone is given their own action figure, right? Or oh no, I'm thinking of the comic Civil War, where at the funeral for the kid that got blown up, the woman, gives Tony the Iron Man figure. Is you were his favorite, and that's why Tony's guess I better 1984 this.
Yikes.
It's a better comic
they
than
have,
movie.
Dark raisin hazelnuts. They have the Ben and Jerry flavors after them.
That's true. That's true.
That's about it. How did we get on this subject?
I love the Marvel Eternals.
Yes.
And it's a perfect movie. It's not. It's really it's not bad, but it's just kind of flawed, and I wish it was better, but it's not.
Will I watch it again? Yes.
It would not be what I would choose, but I would. I'm not going to say no. Like if you say come over, we're going to have a movie night, we're going to watch the Eternals. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to think, do I want to do that?
Yeah.
Do I want to go to that? Who else is coming to this, Connor? Like
just me and popcorn.
Yeah, I guess. Then we can make fun of it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it deserves a second watch through just because there's so much, and it was hard to absorb a lot of stuff that was happening.
I think I might like it more on a second watch,
same
honestly.
as well. Oh man,
but I might not.
Just bonkers stuff.
Yeah. I'm asking you again now.
Yes.
If you're the Eternals, do you stop the Celestial from emerging, or do you let it happen?
I stop the Celestial.
I think I let it happen.
You let it happen.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a hard... Like, I would want to stop it, but the idea of, like, this is a thing that happens all the time everywhere, if I'm just going to do this one and then not care and not stop every Celestial ever and every other planet, that feels weird and hypocritical to me.
Well,
and that alone makes me think, maybe I'll let it blow up and just go to another planet.
You're asking a decision to be made. You're killing people no matter what. It's the classic trolley.
Yeah.
Do you change the direction to kill more people?
Yes.
And
I would kill as many people as I could.
Yikes.
In the fictional world.
He's winking at me.
I would never.
I can tell because I have no eyes.
I would never.
I know.
I have to wink, but yet I have no eyes. Is that the?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm clicking with my tongue.
I must blink, but yet I have no. I don't know.
Yeah, eyelids still exist. Oh gosh, there was something about how. Okay, so I wanted to ask you how you felt about.
I feel really good.
How they finished off the Celestial that is coming out of the Earth. So earlier they talk about Cersei can transform things to different things,
but not living things.
Yeah, so she could transform wood into metal, but she can't transform living matter into anything
until she can.
Until she does.
Yeah,
and they're just like, "Whoa, how'd you do that?"
She's like, "I don't know. I believed in myself."
Yeah, and then she does that to the final Celestial by turning him into marble.
Is it marble or is it just like rock? I thought it was ice at first.
Yeah, it looked a lot like ice.
It's just kind of like, some kind of rock.
It's confirmed marble.
It is? Mm-hmm. Okay. Marble comics.
Marble
cinematic universe.
But it's just like...
I think it looks cool. And I think it's interesting to me, the idea now that there's going to be just this big hand reaching out of the... I was thinking to myself, like, oh, there's the different structures you can see from space, from the ISS. And, you can see this, the Burj Khalifa, and you can see the Great Wall. And you can see the big celestial hand that almost exploded the Earth.
Yeah,
like I think that's kind of interesting. That that's a location now in the MCU.
That is pretty cool. It's interesting that he pops out of the Earth's crust, but nothing really happens other than like a tidal wave.
That is very strange.
Like they're trying to have Earth-shattering events without actually shattering the Earth.
Yeah, because even like part of his head pops up too.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like how big this guy is or is not, because like his entire hand is encapsulating that island,
but that's still relatively small for a Celestial.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah,
because it's the planet Earth. So if his entire head is like smaller than the United States, and it definitely is, smaller than Texas, like smaller than like maybe the size of a city, maybe it didn't even look that big.
No,
maybe a football field and a half.
With his hand, he could probably scoop up maybe Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, like one thumb looks like the size of my house.
Yeah, and
he's very little. Do they grow?
Do they get older? A baby.
Do they grow up?
Yeah, they grow up.
They do?
Yeah, because we see this is like the baby version.
I guess they would have to, right? Because every
Yeah.
planet is small. No
Yeah.
planet is as big as Arisham the Judge.
I don't know. And if we wanted to get into the life cycles of Celestials, we could talk about the head, Nowhere, where the collector is.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that we just don't have answered about the Celestials.
Darn.
Darn, darny darn.
Darn. That ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, sorry. So Cersei ends up turning this new one, was it Tiamat or something?
I don't know.
Tiamat?
Tiamat or something.
Yeah, Tiamat into marble. And she gets enough power to do this is that all the Eternals, through some like fancy technology,
The Unimind. Which is a thing
form
from the comics.
Yes, they formed the Unimind. And Phastos takes the ball that came out of Ajax and went into Cersei, and he turns that into bracelets.
Yeah.
So they can all, connect.
Friendship bracelets,
Friendship
Captain
bracelets. They can form the Unimind, which gives all their power to one person so they can do something.
Yeah.
And
It's
yet,
fine. It's a weird, stupid comic book thing that just feels dumb in live action. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it.
you're just talking a power grid that they're going to dwarf. They're going to forget how to do the Unimind. There's going to be some MacGuffin that says...
It's like the second video game, and it's like, oh, you lost all of your upgrades and gadgets from your first game, Batman.
Yeah.
Like, why? How? That doesn't make sense, Alfred.
Yeah.
Give me my stuff back. Put it in my belt, Alfred.
They're all going to forget, like, oh, I can't transmute living power or
that
living
was
things anymore.
The Holdo maneuver was 1 in a million. You can't do that you can't spaceship through a spaceship. Like, what are you talking about, Poe Dameron? You're stupid. That wasn't even that was Mary from Lord of the Rings that said that line, I think, right?
What?
Billy Boyd?
From what?
Star Wars!
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's another
anymore.
one of those instances in Rise of Skywalker when they're like, what do we do against this big fleet? And they're like, why don't we just do what Admiral Holdo
That's
did?
Pippin.
Is that Pip? No.
No, it's Mary.
It's
but
Mary.
It's like, Billy Boyd is Pippin.
You're
Mary,
right.
Mary's the guy from Lost and X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yes. Wow, what's his name, though?
I have Dominic
Dominic.
Toretto. Family.
It's been a long time. Dominic, it's not Dominic West. That's The Wire.
I don't know.
Dominic Green is James Bond. Dude.
I don't know. Either way. So
Neither way.
I forgot where.
I think that The Eternals is fine, and I give it a yes. But it's like a very hesitant yes. If I could not give a yes, I would be very middling. But
Yeah.
I can't because that's the rules.
I'm a more confident yes.
Yeah.
Because I know we're going to probably appreciate this movie more as time goes on.
The more that we have these characters.
Yeah, the more we have these characters and the more like I get they tried to introduce a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, in 10 years look back on this movie and say like, wow, they really started like planting a bunch of seeds in this movie for all that.
Yeah. I'm more excited to see the Black Knight than anything.
Oh yeah, do you want to get into post credits?
Post credits? Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you want to do first post credit?
Yeah, first post credit. First post credit.
Toast credit
I'm starting to get tired.
to the toast.
First post credit
yes.
is the end of the movie. They save the world, whatever, and then a few of the Eternals are like, "We're gonna get in the ship and we're gonna go and find all the other Eternals, and we're gonna tell them what's the deal." And then I guess they also have to make the same choice at that point.
Yeah.
And they're on their way to do that, and then there's a big old portal that pops open in their ship,
spaceship.
the Domo, and out comes Pip the Troll,
Voiced
who-
by Patton Oswalt.
Pip the Troll you might know from the Infinity Gauntlet story.
Or you might not know it all.
Yeah, most people wouldn't know him at all, but if you did, you'd probably know him from Infinity Gauntlet, unless you're like a crazy comic book person, in which case you would probably just know him for some reason in general.
Yeah.
And he is like, welcome, the cool guy, the best guy. He's handsome, and he's Thanos' brother.
While he is very inebriated, mind you.
Very drunken. It's Eros, Prince of Titan,
And out walks.
Harry Styles as Eros, which is very good.
It is good, but that character has to be changed from
Why?
its comic origins.
How? Why?
Because basically he's a star child of the Me Too movement. His whole power set is revolved around making people attracted to him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it would be hard to make it that he's. I don't think that's a problem necessarily. Like if he's like being really rapey, then that's weird and gross. But I don't think that would be difficult to avoid.
I just think it's a very interesting character to bring in now.
Yeah.
Along
I
with
mean,
Pip
we'll have to
Patrol.
see what they have planned for that. Because I
enough.
doubt that they're casting Harry Styles and not having some sort of plan in the works already for that.
That's fair. They bring all. What if all the next Eternals movie, when they find, the other planets with Eternals,
Yeah.
each one is led by a different One Direction member, except Louis.
Why not? What's
Louis-
wrong with Louis?
Louis the worst.
Oh,
Love you, Louis, but I also don't.
Louis, I hate your guts. I hate your guts, Louis. You're dumb and I hate your guts. Niall, marry me.
Yeah. there you go.
That would take me out of it.
Yeah,
would
it would take me- I mean,
be
as much
silly.
as seeing Harry Styles didn't take you out of it,
I mean, I knew it was coming.
I didn't, and it took me right out of the movie.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's the same thing with Angelina Jolie for me, but I kind
That
of
was
sat
different.
back into that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But to see, not a well-known actor for his acting
Yeah.
and more his music career, to see Harry Styles just walk on the screen.
Also, like, if it was just like some newcomer, that entrance makes no sense. Like, you would do that in a very different way if it wasn't someone famous and notable. Because they're like, here he comes, the coolest guy, the best dude ever. And it's not like it's a character that anyone is excited about. It's a fairly deep cut Marvel character that no one really knows in the mainstream media.
But it's Thanos' brother.
Yeah, that's like the only thing where the regular people were probably like, oh, like their ears pricked up there and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
why is he not purple?
Yeah. Fair enough. And can we talk about how bad the CGI on Pip the Troll was?
It wasn't great. It wasn't, I mean, it was like it was like Netflix quality, I would say.
I can't even picture his face because it was just a blur to me.
I can. It was not very good.
Well, there you
It
go.
wasn't bad though. I mean, and it's anything like that. It's always a matter of how much time did the VFX artist have. Because like these people are getting paid a lot of money to do this stuff, but it's usually in very little time. And part of me wonders, like, when did they secure Harry Styles to do a cameo?
Mm-hmm.
And when did they plan that shot? Because I doubt that it was at the same time as they started the movie. That was probably in deliberation for a long time. And then at a certain point, they were like, okay, we got it. Oh, wait, also Pip the Troll. I guess we need to make CGI for that. And they
So-
have way less time to do that than
So
the
you're
rest of the
saying
movie.
it could have looked way worse if this movie hadn't been pushed back like a year.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, it's.
Awesome.
I think that if you keep going with that character, it'll be fine. Like, the Hulk is fully CG. We forget that. Like, he's a completely CG character.
I don't forget that.
I never forget that the Hulk is a CG character.
Remember, the 5th of the Hulk is always CG.
November, remember November. Let's all have a really good November. Amen. So Spiritus Sanctus. That's my November prayer.
Awesome. So, spoiler alert,
I know
number
that
2.
Yeah, I know that their CGI is really good, so I think it'll be fine. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to move on to the second post-credit scene.
Good.
So, taking it back to Kit Harington.
Woo.
He's out here doing his thing.
Yeah.
But he is back in what appears to be, his office, some like fancy British style office.
Rainy old England.
Yes. And he's contemplating opening this box
Yeah.
that, inside there's a sword. And on the inside, there is written, death is my reward in like Old English or some form of like magic.
What if it was the Star Wars language? What if it was Arabesh?
That would be weird.
Wouldn't that be cool though? I would be so confused.
That'd be real bonkers.
Yeah.
But
is he a
essentially,
Jedi?
yeah.
There's
So-
a laser sword in some of the comics.
Cool beans. So the sword itself, can you tell us more about the sword in the box?
I guess I don't know a ton about the Black Knight, but basically it's the ancestral sword of his family. I think there's been different like incarnations of the Black Knight throughout history, essentially.
Yeah, the original one was Perseus, and
Yeah.
he was a knight for King Arthur,
Yeah.
who exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. You forget that he's not a real guy.
That King Arthur wasn't a real guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they mention him in Eternals twice,
Yeah.
almost, because,
Athena dated him or something.
yeah, because she was wielding Excalibur.
Yeah. Which is so weird.
And they're like, is that the black saber? Or like,
Is that
not
the dark
saber?
Is that the dark saber from
No.
The Mandalorian?
No.
She said no, but I sure like that show. Season 1 and 2 just really were rife with pacing issues, and at that point I was thinking this is a weird diversion for them to take.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so the Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight. Wow. I'm going to make that mistake so many times when
Yeah.
you have the Black Knight. But basically, it's an ancestral sword. His ancestor was Perseus. He was a knight of the Round Table in the Marvel Universe. And Merlin gave him this sword. The sword can cut through anything.
Yeah.
It grants the user, regenerative
Regenerative body.
health, and it even resurrects them at some point.
Oh.
But every time you kill someone with the sword, it increases your bloodlust.
Oh.
So the wielder of the sword typically becomes a villain towards the end, but Dane is different. He's supposed to be a more upstanding character, and he rarely uses the sword to kill, if ever.
Only to wound.
Yes, exactly. But in the movie, they allude to, hey, you need to reconnect with your uncle.
Yeah.
Dane's uncle was a villain, Black Knight, in the comics.
Oh.
And so it's going to be probably a pretty interesting storyline if they keep up with his origins and things like that.
well, and then you get, darn it, I hit the thing again, guys. You get Blade. It was
Yeah.
like, are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
Mahershala
Just
Ali.
a voice. I think that'll be cool. I'm excited to see what that is.
Yeah, do you think they're going to kind of form the more supernatural Avengers?
Like Justice League Dark kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that, but I'm thinking...
Supernatural Justice League.
Yeah, so like bringing in Blade, and then you have, the Black Knight, Moon Knight, which is confirmed Disney Plus show. I mean, we just got the first
I
look
would
at that.
wonder how much they're going to bring the TV people into the movies. I mean, it's going to be more crossover, certainly, but it'll be interesting to see how much like She-Hulk and that kind of character will actually move like that.
Yeah.
It'll probably more in team-up stuff than anything. So I guess that would be more likely at that point that Moon Knight would do that.
I think they'll probably get something similar to their own show team up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like a movie.
Sure, yeah.
But if they go into kind of this, metaphysical style of, crime fighting or fighting vampires, which they've
Yeah.
slowly been trying to introduce into the MCU, I think you're getting more into the territory of Mephisto and Ghost Rider.
Yeah, well, Mephisto confirmed.
In what?
Just everything, dude. He's always there. Mephisto confirmed.
He's always the first thing people are like, it's got to be Mephisto.
Did you see the new
WandaVision?
Did you see the Spider-Man trailer? Mephisto,
Stop it.
Mephisto confirmed.
Stop it.
But see, now you know that Mephisto.
But now
is a
House
Deadite.
of Harkness, Agatha's House of Harkness is confirmed.
House of Harkness, Mephisto
And-
confirmed.
There's got to be, because
Maybe.
it's not a retcon, but it's confirmed that her rabbit in WandaVision
Yeah.
that she's like petting is confirmed to be
Mephisto?
like a demon from Mephisto's realm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
her
so
familiar.
weird when they bring Marvel's literal embodiment of the devil into the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But they delved into creation and stuff with Eternals, so I think that they're ready to start getting into the crazy weird stuff.
And I mean, when you talk about hell in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's basically just another dimension.
Another planet or dimension or something.
Yeah. And so whether it's close to like the Brimstone dimension from Nightcrawler or things like that,
Yeah.
I just can't wait for another interpretation of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I think it'll be. Well, initially there were rumors that the Gabriel Luna's version of Robbie Reyes was going to actually come into the MCU.
Best part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you
Yeah,
ask me.
I heard he was really good. Never watched it. But I heard he was great, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. I also think it would be crazy and funny to have Nicolas Cage actually come in, like be grandfathered in, and then pass like the mantle, or just be like the mentor type character. And like, I was a Ghost Rider, and now you are.
So they could do that. How they did it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
was that Robbie Reyes was just kind of this down on his luck guy.
Classic.
And he got in a car accident on a bridge.
Oh,
And this like biker shows up, and you just see like the flames, and it's the classic like Johnny Blaze
Yeah.
looking Ghost Rider. And it's supposed to be Nicolas Cage. It's not, but it is that guy.
it's implied.
It's very well implied and confirmed that is supposed to be that Johnny Blaze who passes on the spirit of vengeance to Robbie Reyes.
So interesting. I don't know how that happens in the comics. I don't really know much about Ghost Rider in that realm, but that's so weird. I want them, if we're really going to do Ghost Rider, what I want is Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Do you know about Cosmic Ghost Rider?
I don't.
It's Frank Castle,
That'd be pretty cool.
and he's the Ghost Rider in space, and he has a baby Thanos. Isn't that a great combination of words?
And he has the symbiote.
I'm giving Connor a look because that's kind of true. Because I believe at one point he does have the black sword that Gore, the God Killer, uses, which is we eventually find out a symbiote, which then we find out is actually Null, the king of the symbiote, the god of the symbiotes, his sword. I believe that he actually uses that at one point.
The God Killer.
Yeah, no.
That's
Gore, the God Killer, is a guy.
yes, but he uses
the
all
sword.
black, the Necro sword.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Really crazy stuff.
Lot of dark swords coming in.
A lot of dark
lot of
dark
black
sabers, craziness up in here. I want one. Give me one now.
I'll go to the store.
I've been on, Connor, I think you'll agree, I've been on very good behavior throughout this podcast, and I would like a treat.
You want a treat?
I've been on good behavior, and I would like a treat.
You can sit here eating your curds and whey and just meal prep all the live long day.
If I'm not going to get a treat, then I think maybe I should just be on bad behavior then.
I don't know what bad behavior is then.
You're about to find out, buddy.
Oh, no.
Give me a treat.
No.
Just kidding. That's a funny joke from internet guys, and they're very funny. You just made me think of it. I'll show you the video. Rami Malek is in it. It's very
Nice.
funny.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah. Chill, Mr. Robot. That's a line from the thing. It's very funny. But hey, everybody, this has been more or less our thoughts on Eternals. It's fine. We both said yes in different varieties of ways.
It's true.
And you should see it. You should see it.
I say go see it.
I say you should see it.
If you missed this one, you're probably going to miss and not understand the next 4 years of Marvel continuity.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening anymore at this point. I'm a genius, and I see everything. So thanks, everyone, for listening to the show. This has been the best podcast that we've ever made today.
I agree.
And other than the other one, unless you like this one better, we'll find out. Vote.
Take a poll.
I'm going to make a poll.
Make a poll.
But the other episode won't have come out yet, so people will just have to choose.
You have to vote for this one.
Yay! But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. If you want to contact the show, tell us what you think of the Eternals. Tell us how many of them there are and what they're eating in the park at 10. And I want to hear about it, and you can do that by contacting the show at cinemaloungepod@gmail.com. Also, Cinema Lounge Pod on Instagram. I'm at mparish_art, MPARISH_art on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, all the other ones, everything, all of them. LinkedIn, just kidding.
And I am at the park eating tangerines till 10.
Wow. With how many Eternals?
10 tickle Eternals.
Wow.
10 tickles.
That's very good. But thanks for listening to the show, everybody. I don't know what we're going to be doing next time, unless the next episode is the one that we just recorded, in which case it's going to be Galaxy Quest.
Woo-woo!
Here's a sneak peek of that episode.
So yeah, that was basically my only experience with kind of classic television that are like Red Skeleton comedy.
Red Skeleton?
Yeah.
You said Red Skeleton.
Yeah.
It's Red Skeleton. His name is Red Skeleton.
Well,
Did you
I was
think-
watching it. I
did
wasn't
you-
reading it.
Did you think it was Red Skeleton?
Yeah.
That's so good. I love that. I want, if I could use the Omega 13 to change anything, I would go back in time to change Red Skeleton's name to Red Skeleton. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Let's hope I put that in.
If not,
I'll say
Still
yeah.
funny. So thanks everyone for listening. This has been the podcast. I've been Marshall.
and I've been Connor.